My wife appeared in the kitchen like a sunrise, glowing and holding her belly, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Ethan! You're not going to believe this, we're pregnant. With twins," she shouted. I froze, and the coffee mug in my hand slipped. It hit the tile and shattered. Not out of joy. Shock. Pure disbelief. Because 3 days ago, I'd been sitting in Dr. Bennett's office, staring at test results that told a story I wasn't ready to hear. "Mr. Carter," she said gently, her voice calm but firm, "I'm sorry, but these results show that you're sterile. You've been for at least 5 years. Natural conception isn't possible." I'd been secretly getting tested for months, quietly hoping for answers. Lily and I had been trying for 2 years, month after month, without a single positive result. I thought it was me, that something was wrong with me. Turns out I was right, but not the way I thought I'd be. And now, here she was, radiant and smiling, talking about twins. My brain tried to do the impossible math that didn't add up. 2 plus 2 was suddenly meaningless. I smiled, hugged her, said the things I knew I was supposed to say. "That's amazing, honey. I'm so happy for us." But inside, one thought screamed louder than everything else: if I can't have kids, whose are they? If you want to know what happened next and the messages I found on her phone that finally explained everything, hit subscribe, because this story gets darker before it makes sense. My name is Ethan Carter. I'm 38, a senior systems analyst at a tech company in Austin, Texas. I work from home 3 days a week, which is supposed to be convenient, except when your life starts feeling like a ticking clock. I make good money, drive a practical car, mow my own lawn. From the outside looking in, I've got it all. Nice house in a quiet suburb, a beautiful wife, 2 dogs, the kind of life that looks perfect in commercials. Lily is 35. She works in marketing for a healthcare startup. Brilliant, organized, always 3 steps ahead, her calendar color-coded, her meals prepped every Sunday. We met at a friend's wedding 7 years ago, married 2 years later, bought our house a year after that. And for the past 2 years, we'd been trying to have a baby. Trying. That's the polite way to say failing. At first, it was exciting, fun, spontaneous, romantic. Then it turned into a schedule, a science project. Ovulation trackers, basal thermometers, fertility apps sending notifications at work, high fertility window, tonight is optimal. Romance quietly died somewhere between cycle day 14 and the 3rd negative pregnancy test. Lily became obsessive. She cried when her period came. She avoided baby showers. She scrolled through Instagram, seeing pregnancy announcements like personal attacks. "Why does it come so easily for everyone else?" she asked me, voice cracking. I had no answer. I held her, saying the words every husband says: "It'll happen. We just need to be patient." But patience thins over time. Doubt creeps in. 6 months ago, I started asking myself if the problem was me. Lily's doctor had cleared her, everything was normal. Hormones, ovulation, cycles, perfect. That left only one possibility: me. I didn't tell Lily. I didn't want to worry her, or confirm her worst fear, that I was the reason we couldn't conceive. So I made an appointment with a fertility specialist, Dr. Sophia Bennett, at a medical office across town, far enough to avoid running into anyone I knew. The first visit was simple. Questions about my medical history, lifestyle, and a physical exam. "We'll start with a semen analysis," Dr. Bennett said. "It's the simplest test and will give us a baseline." I nodded, feeling like a lab rat. A week later, I returned. She pulled up my results on her computer, expression professional and unreadable. "Mr. Carter, your sperm count is extremely low." "Very low." "How low?" I asked, my stomach dropping. "Severe oligospermia, less than 5 million per milliliter. Normal is 15 million or higher." I felt like someone had punched me in the gut. "So, what does that mean?" "It means natural conception is highly unlikely. Not impossible, but very unlikely." "Can it be fixed?" She paused. There are treatments, hormone therapy, lifestyle adjustments, but I want to run more tests first. There could be an underlying cause we haven't found yet. I left the office feeling like my world had collapsed. I was the problem. Over the next 3 months, I endured every test possible: blood work, ultrasounds, genetic screenings. I changed my diet, quit drinking, and took vitamins that smelled like a barn. Lily noticed I was healthier but never asked why. She was too wrapped up in her own hope, her own tracking, and I didn't tell her. I promised myself I'd wait until I had answers. But the answers kept getting worse. The final test came back in early November. I sat in Dr. Bennett's office again, same chair, same sterile walls, same sinking feeling. She pulled up the results, her expression serious. "Mr. Carter, I need to be honest with you," she said. "Based on your hormone levels, testicular imaging, and genetic markers, you are functionally sterile." The word hit me like a hammer. "Sterile?" I whispered. "Yes. Your sperm isn't just low, it's non-viable. The ones present are malformed. Even with IVF, the odds of success are near zero." How long has this been the case?" 5 years, at minimum. Possibly longer. 5 years. We'd been married for 5 years. Any chance at all? I asked, hope flickering. "No," she said softly. "I'm sorry. Natural conception is not possible." I sat there, numb. 2 years of trying had been pointless. Every negative test wasn't bad luck, it was biology. And if Lily ever did get pregnant? I stopped that thought before it could finish. I drove home in a daze. Lily was in the living room, laptop open, working on a presentation. "Hey," she said, barely looking up. "How was your day?" "Fine," I lied. "Yours?" "Busy. Pitch tomorrow. Probably working late." "Okay," I said. I went upstairs, sat on the edge of the bed, and stared at the wall, feeling like my life had quietly shifted under me. I didn't tell her. I told myself I needed space, time to process what I'd just learned. But the truth? I was terrified. Terrified of what this meant for us. Terrified of her reaction. Terrified she'd leave me because I couldn't give her what she wanted most. So I stayed silent. I waited. 3 days later, Lily came home earlier than usual. I was in the kitchen, brewing coffee, when I heard the front door click open. "Ethan?" Her voice was unsteady, almost trembling. I turned. She was standing there, cheeks flushed, eyes shining with something I couldn't place. She moved toward me, hands shaking as she held something small and white. A pregnancy test. 2 pink lines. "I'm pregnant," she whispered, barely audible. My mind froze. The world tilted sideways. "What? You're pregnant?" I blurted. She laughed, a strange mix of disbelief and joy. "I took 3 tests. They're all positive." I stared at the test in her hand. 2 perfect, bright pink lines staring back at me. My brain refused to process it. Dr. Bennett's words echoed relentlessly in my head: natural conception is not possible. "Ethan?" Her smile wavered, uncertain. "Say something." I forced a smile that I hoped looked convincing. "That's incredible." She threw her arms around me, sobbing softly. "I can't believe it." After 2 years of trying, after every failed test and every crushed hope, I hugged her back, but it was mechanical, empty. My eyes darted to the counter, where another test lay waiting, mocking me. 2 pink lines. Impossible. I didn't sleep that night. Lily curled up beside me, hand instinctively resting on her stomach, and I lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying every possible explanation. Maybe Dr. Bennett was wrong. Maybe the tests were flawed. Maybe, somehow, there was a miracle exception. But I knew better. I had seen the results. Heard the certainty in her voice. There was no maybe. Only one truth remained. The baby wasn't mine. The next morning, Lily excitedly booked an OB appointment. "I just want to make sure everything's okay," she said, radiant. "When's the appointment?" I asked. "Friday. Will you come with me?" "Of course," I said, hiding the storm inside. She kissed me, grabbed her bag, and left. The moment the door closed, I grabbed my phone and called Dr. Bennett. "I need to see her today," I said, voice tight. She fit me in during her lunch break. I sat in her office, hands trembling, barely able to speak. "My wife, she's pregnant," I said. Dr. Bennett frowned. "Mr. Carter, based on your results." "I know," I cut her off. "That's why I'm here. Is there any chance, any possibility at all, that I could be the father?" She scrolled through my file, expression unreadable. "No," she said finally. "I'm sorry. Based on your condition, natural conception is biologically impossible. If she's pregnant, the biological father is someone else." Her words hit like a freight train. I sank back in the chair, struggling to breathe. What do I do?" I asked, voice cracking. "That's not a medical question, Mr. Carter," she said softly. "That's a personal one." I didn't confront Lily. Not yet. I needed proof. Real proof. Because accusing your wife of infidelity based on a fertility test, that's a line you can't take back. So I waited. Watched. Observed. Friday came. We sat in the OB waiting room, surrounded by pregnant women, pastel pamphlets about prenatal vitamins, and a soft, constant hum of anxious excitement. Lily was nervous, gripping my hand like I was her anchor. "What if something's wrong?" she whispered. "It'll be fine," I said, hiding my thoughts. Inside, I was thinking, what if something's right? What if this confirms everything? They called her name. We followed the nurse into the exam room. The ultrasound tech was cheerful, squirted gel on Lily's stomach, and spoke with practiced warmth. "Let's see what we've got." The screen flickered to life. 2 tiny shapes appeared. 2 flickering heartbeats. "Twins," the tech said, smiling. "Looks like you're about 8 weeks along." "Congratulations." Lily gasped, tears running down her face. "Twins? 8 weeks." I did the math. 8 weeks ago, I had been on a work trip, gone for 5 days. Lily had been home alone. I smiled, externally calm, while my mind raced. I held her hand, said the things a husband should say. But inside, I was screaming. Because 8 weeks ago, I wasn't just out of town, I was sterile. And now, she was pregnant with twins. That night, Lily fell asleep early, exhausted from the appointment. I waited until her breathing slowed and deepened, then did something I never imagined I would. I picked up her phone. No passcode. She'd always said we had nothing to hide. Funny how that works. I scrolled through her messages, past the mundane chats with her mom, friends, and coworkers, until I found a name I didn't recognize, Ryan. The conversation went back months. At first, harmless, work-related chatter. But then it turned intimate. "I can't stop thinking about last night. When can I see you again? He's traveling this week. Come over." My heart raced. Then I found it. 2 months ago. "I'm late. I think I might be pregnant." Ryan replied, "Are you sure?" I took a test. It's positive. "What are you going to do?" "I'll tell Ethan it's his. He'll never know." I set the phone down gently, as if it might shatter. My hands shook, chest tight, stomach roiling. She had planned this. She knew the baby wasn't mine and she was going to let me raise them as my own. I didn't sleep. I sat in the living room, staring at nothing, trying to decide what to do. Part of me wanted to wake her, scream, throw the phone at her, demand answers. Another part, the part hardened by 2 years of trying, of her hope, of her tears, wanted to believe there could still be some explanation. By morning, I'd made a decision. I wouldn't confront her. Not yet. I would let her think she'd won. And then I would take everything. For the next 2 weeks, I played the doting husband. I went to every appointment, smiled at every ultrasound, bought every baby book. Every gesture a mask, every word a lie, while inside, my mind was plotting. I started looking at cribs online while Lily buzzed around the house, radiant, practically glowing. She talked nonstop about names, nursery colors, double strollers, onesies, and baby gear I'd never thought I'd buy. Every word she said, every laugh, hit me like a knife. And every night, after she fell asleep, I became methodical. I saved every message, screenshot by screenshot. I downloaded her texts to a hidden cloud account, organized and timestamped. Everything she'd said, every little detail, every lie, it all went into a private record that only I could see. I called a lawyer, not just anyone. Vanessa Liu. The same attorney who'd guided my friend through a merciless divorce. I need to protect myself, I said. Tell me everything, she said, leaning back in her chair, steely eyes fixed on me. I told her. Every single detail, the texts, the timing, the appointments, Ryan. She listened without blinking. This is a lot, she said finally. Can you help me? I asked, my voice calm, cold. Yes, she said, but you have to be careful. Don't tip your hand. Let her think everything is normal. Play the part. And then, when the time comes, we hit her with everything at once: infidelity, fraud, paternity. She gets nothing. Not a dime. The plan was simple, brutal in its clarity. Wait until the twins were born. Let her list me as the father on the birth certificates. Then run a paternity test. When it came back negative, file for divorce, annulment, and fraud. She would lose everything: the house, the savings, her claim to my income. And I'd walk away clean. It was cold. Calculated. But after reading those messages, seeing how easily she had lied, I didn't feel guilty. I felt clear. Focused. 4 months into the pregnancy, Lily began noticing. You've been distant, she said one evening. I'm stressed about work, I lied smoothly. Are you sure that's all? Yeah, I said. Why? She studied my face, suspicious. I don't know, you just seem different. I kissed her forehead. I'm fine. Just a lot on my mind. She didn't push further, but I could tell she was watching me more closely. Measuring me, trying to catch a crack in the mask. At 6 months, she threw a gender reveal party. Friends, family, even Ryan. I shook his hand, smiled, nodded at his jokes, played the proud future father. They thought they were clever. They had no idea I already knew. I was 3 steps ahead. The twins were born in late June. 2 healthy boys. Perfect. Lily cried, her family cried, everyone celebrated. I held the babies, smiled for the photos, signed the birth certificates. Father, Ethan Carter. Vanessa had told me to do it. It will make the fraud case stronger, she said. So I signed my name, every stroke a lie, every signature a promise I would enforce later. I waited. 2 weeks later, I suggested a paternity test. Just for peace of mind, I said. Medical records, family history. Her face went pale. Why would we need that? It's standard procedure, I lied. Ethan, that's ridiculous. Is it? I asked, calm, cold. If there's nothing to hide, then there's no reason not to do it. She hesitated. Then, finally, she said, fine. If it'll make you feel better. A week later, the results arrived. Probability of paternity, 0%. I stared at the paper. Slowly, deliberately, I called Vanessa. It's time, I said. I didn't confront Lily right away. I let her settle into the exhausting blur of newborn life, late-night feedings, diaper changes, the relentless rhythm of twin care. She was tired. Vulnerable. Perfect. One evening, after both boys were finally asleep, I sat across from her. We need to talk, I said. She looked up, wary. About what? I slid the paternity test across the table. Her eyes widened, and color drained from her face. Ethan, don't. Don't lie to me anymore, I said, steady, controlled. Her hands shook. I can explain. Can you? I asked. I opened the screenshots on my phone. Every message. Every plan. Every lie, in black and white. Her face crumpled. Ethan, please. How long? I asked. How long were you planning to let me raise another man's children? Tears streaked her cheeks. I didn't mean for it to happen. And you lied. You looked me in the eye every single day and lied, I said. I was scared. Scared of what? She sobbed. The truth, I said. You already lost me. The next day, I filed for divorce. Annulment, based on fraud, infidelity, and paternity deception. Vanessa made sure the case was airtight. Lily tried to fight, arguing that I had signed the birth certificates, that I had accepted paternity. Vanessa countered with the messages, the timeline, the fertility records. The judge didn't hesitate. Mrs. Carter knowingly deceived her husband about the paternity of the children. That constitutes fraud, the ruling stated. Lily got the twins. I got everything else, the house, the savings, my freedom. She moved in with Ryan. Last I heard, he was struggling to support 3 people on a teacher's salary. I sold the house. Too many memories. Bought a condo downtown. Started over. I don't hate Lily. Most days, I don't think about her at all. But I learned something critical: trust isn't just believing someone. It's knowing when to verify, when to see the truth for yourself. If you've ever been lied to, trapped by a secret, forced to choose between your heart and your head, this story is for you. Comment verified if this resonates. Hit subscribe for more stories about the truths hiding in plain sight, because sometimes the most dangerous lies come wrapped in love.